Doc, philosophy, so many questions for centuries, forever. I don't even think, we'll ever stop asking the question. The first question I want to ask, I think, many men, over the centuries have asked that question, does God exist? We hear it many times, you lecture in it, you're very well versed in it. That question, what's the best answer to that? Is there a God?
I think, okay. The question needs to be broken down into two. One thing is the existence of God, and another thing is the belief in God. I usually give an example which is extremely silly, but I think it renders the idea. One can say that, the Brazilian football team, national football team, is the best team in the world because it has won the World Cup so many times. That's a fact, that's a data.
Yeah.
You can argue about that, but you can prove that with data. But that does not necessarily make me a supporter of the Brazilian national team. Okay. The religious person is the supporter. So, first of all, we need to, as it were, put it down. And I think among all the plausible hypotheses that you can give, yes, there is a plausible hypothesis that at the beginning of this world, not the beginning in time, but the beginning in logic, the metaphysical beginning, there must be the figure of a God. Because most of the questions we pose, you just keep going back and back, what we call the theory of infinite regress. At some point, you need to stop, right? And where you stop is what people call God. That's what Thomas Aquinas said anyway. Now, the other thing that comes up is, okay, what relationship should I have with that God? The existence of God does not necessarily conclude in me kneeling down or going to pray. And that is where we then begin to say, okay, if there is a God, what are the characteristics of this God and what is his relationship with us human beings? And this is where the various religions have different experiences. And above all, Christianity, we have the basis that, yes, this God actually revealed himself to the people of Israel and through his son. And he revealed himself in the name that perhaps we can best synthesize as love. And for that matter, we're called to love him and to enter into a loving relationship with him. But that then becomes a matter of faith.
So faith is the key when it comes to the question of, is there a God? Does God exist? So is it pretty much about faith is what you believe in?
No, I think there is a rational base.
Okay.
There is a rational base to be able to argue and actually debate on the existence of God without any faith. Okay. And just as it is plausible, because at the end of the day, I'll tell you something. Even the scientific theories we have, right from Big Bang, the theory of evolution and all that, they all have loopholes in them that require a certain jump to be able to accept them. And the existence of a supreme being as the foundation, the metaphysical foundation of the world, is also another hypothesis that you can put forward. And it is rational.
As well.
So, yes, the existence of God can actually be defended rationally.
Okay.
Now, the fact of actually adoring, following, worshiping this God becomes a question of faith. You choose to then, after all, God could have just been the creator who made this world and said, okay, go. And he's busy enjoying himself and he's forgotten about us. But religion says, no, that's not the case. It says that God continues to relate with us and wants to build a relationship with us. And then that is where faith actually comes in, because we only know that through revelation. And the answer to revelation is faith.